You're listening to an archived Cabral Concept podcast. After listening to this show, check out the most up-to-date podcasts available at stephencabral.com/podcasts or search directly on iTunes. And now, welcome to the Cabral Concept, where board-certified naturopath and integrative health practitioner Dr. Stephen Cabral shares how he was diagnosed at the age of 17 with a life-altering illness and given no hope for recovery. It was only after studying and traveling all over the world did he discover how to combine ancient Ayurvedic healing practices with state-of-the-art naturopathic and functional medicine to fully rebalance the body and re-energize it with life. It's time to discover how to get well, lose weight, and finally feel alive again. And now, here's your host, Dr. Stephen Cabral.
I appreciate you joining me today on this Mindset and Motivation Monday, where we're about to chat about how you can create a new identity for yourself and figure out what you really want to do with your life. This is a question that comes up so often in my practice, not as a fundamental issue that someone comes in with, but rather a byproduct of someone now getting well, maybe losing the weight, and for the first time in their life, really thinking about, wow, I might be in control of this thing I call my life. And because of that, I now should probably think about what I want to do with it. It's such a powerful thing to think about that. You are the master of your domain. You're the master of your life. Now, it does not always seem that way, right? So sometimes it seems completely out of control. And I understand that, because you haven't reached the goal of losing the weight, or you feel like you're in poor health, or you just feel you're kind of being tossed around by life, whether it's career-wise, relationship-wise, any of those things. So I want to chat about that today, because this is so important. When I get interviewed a lot of times in other podcasts or videos or whatever it might be, people ask me, what is it? What is it that people are really missing? And they expect me to say some type of vitamin or mineral or nutrient or any of these things. And a lot of times, what I tell people is this, is people are missing hope. They're missing the understanding that they can get well, they can lose the weight, but not only that, because it's not about that. Some people aren't even willing to lose the weight or get well because they don't think that it matters in the end. They don't think that just really what's the whole point of it all? And so what I try to tell people is this, is that you need to have hope. Hope that no matter where you're at right now, that life can be better, that it will be better. It honestly will. Everything will get better as a consequence of starting to take control of your life. That's what this is all about. So what I want to talk about today is it can be overwhelming to think about well, how do I become a new person? What am I supposed to do with my life if I get well or any of these things happen? And I tell people that question is much too deep, it's much too broad, and it just becomes overwhelming. So here's what I like to do, and I think this works a lot better. I want you to reverse engineer this in a little bit different way. So I'm just big on reverse engineering things, meaning that I always tell people, you want to lose 36 pounds? Great. I'm going to help you lose 2 pounds a week minimum for 18 weeks. Easy. That's 36 pounds. Okay, 18 weeks is about 4 months. So in 4 months, I'll have you down 36 pounds and you're going to be good to go. You're at your goal weight. You're happy. You're healthy. You're loving life. All that. Fantastic. That's called reverse engineering. We can do that for anything we want in life. Okay, you want to lower your telomere age? Okay, we can do that in about 16 weeks or so, okay? Same thing, about 4 to 6 months to lower those telomeres. We want to improve any genetic-based profile, improve methylation-based issues, improve detoxification. Okay, we can do that. Here's how we reverse engineer it. We start to clean up your heavy fats in your diet. We start to get more produce in there. We do something like a 21-day Dr. Ball detox. We add in a smoothie. We do all of these things. Okay, that's how we reverse engineer it. But in this particular instance, when you want to create a new identity and you don't know who you really want to be, you just want to be happy, you just want to enjoy this life, we need to think about it in a different way. All right, here's what we need to do. I want you to think about not what you want in life right now, okay, because there can be many things. I want you to start thinking about what you don't want. This is really important. And oftentimes we're taught this in the law of attraction or the secret or any one of those things. Don't focus on what you don't want. And I agree with that. But the problem is that most people can't visualize what they do want in life. That's the problem. So if you can't hold a vision for yourself of what you truly want in life, then it's going to be really difficult to move closer to that goal. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to first figure out what you don't want, and then figuring out what you don't want, we're going to get into this right now, is going to show you the life that you do want. It's so much easier. I'm going to teach you that right now. Okay, so here's what I want you to think about. Here's some examples. I want you to think about right now, what is it in your life that's creating pain points? when someone meets with me, whether it's over Skype or whether it's with one of my health coaches or whether it's in our Boston practices, we say to them, there's probably a dozen different things that you want to chat about today. There's a dozen different health issues or body-based issues that you want to work on. But what's the number one thing or number two thing, 1A and 1B, that if we could get rid of that, if we could fix that, you'd be feeling a whole lot better, that you'd be, really enjoying this life to a greater degree. I want you to think about that. What is it that's causing you pain in life? What don't you want to struggle with? That's where to start with. So maybe you don't want to keep eating poorly. Write that down. Okay, I don't want to eat poorly, or I don't want to be overweight, or I don't want to argue with my spouse or my partner or with my parents or my siblings. I don't want to argue anymore. Write that down. Or you might say, I don't want to second guess all my decisions. I don't want to be anxious about all these different things that I think about. I don't want to be fearful that I'm going to be fired from my job or my position. I don't want to worry about whether I'm going to get a job when I get out of school. I don't want to always have to try to figure out what my next career path or job is going to be. Or I don't want to be sick anymore. I don't want to be in pain anymore. I don't want to have these digestive issues. That's where to start, okay? Why am I saying that? That's where to start. And that's because by saying what you don't want, you are also, in a roundabout way, saying what you do want. If you don't want to be in pain anymore, what do you want to be? Well, you want to feel healthy. You want to feel like you have good joints, that you want to be able to do activities and exercise. Okay, so now you're creating an identity of you want to be someone who wants to be more active. So now you can visualize a person that can go out for a jog, a run without any knee pain or back pain, that can go out, and play with their kids. Okay, you don't want to eat poorly. Great. So you want to be a person who makes better food-based decisions. You don't want to be overweight. Okay, you want to visualize a person then who's at the best size for them. They're at a healthy weight. They're wearing the clothes that makes them happy. You want to be in a relationship where you don't argue with your partner or spouse or family. Excellent. So now you're visualizing a person who during family gatherings or dinners at night or any of these things, that you're having enjoyable talk about your day, about, where your life is headed, all of those things. That's what you're now going to visualize, but you might not be able to get there until you figure out what you don't want. I'm telling you right now, this is so important. I figured this out the hard way. I was a complete insomniac. I was in pain all the time. I had flu-like symptoms all the time, no energy, brain fog, fibromyalgia, just completely wiped out. And one really bad night, I give this story, I recount this story quite a bit. Lying in bed somewhere around 2 or 3 a.m., I just said to myself, you know what? I'm in a lot of pain right now. I'm not going to be able to sleep tonight. This is another really bad night from a really bad week. Here's the thing though. This is it. This is the last night. This is it. I am no longer going to play the sick victim. I don't know if I'll ever get well again, but I'll tell you this. I'm not going to complain anymore. I am now going to start to live my life how I want. I'm going to go after the things that I want in life, even and in spite of being in pain, in spite of having brain fog, and in spite of feeling groggy until about 11 a.m. In spite of all of those things, I'm going to start to slowly go back to the gym and exercise my body. In spite of all of those things, I'm going to go after the career that I want. Okay? In spite of all things, I'm going to get the certifications. I'm going to start to be happier. I'm going to pretend I'm happier. I'm going to start arguing less with people. I'm going to start treating people with better respect, even though I'm in pain. All of those things, that's what I'm going to start to do little by little. And because of that, I'm going to choose to not do certain things, all right? I want to live an amazing life, so what do I have to do to start to live a happier, more amazing life? Well, I need to get rid of some negative things in my life. And that includes some negative people. I need to remove myself from some relationships or cut down on the amount of time I spend with people, even if they're family, friends, coworkers, acquaintances, any of those things, because I need to get myself in a happier, healthier place. Not forever, but I need to have my own little sabbatical that I've spoken about before on previous Mindset and Motivation Mondays. And I do invite you to tune into those particular shows. And now, even in my practice today, even though I live the life that I want to be living, I still only choose to hire people on my team that I like spending time with, that I like chatting with, that I like being in meetings with, because I don't want to be around negative people. In my practice, I have an application process. Even though I want to help the entire world, I cannot work with people that are just going to be extremely negative, that are going to just be saying, I can't do this, I can't do that, I can't. If you start every sentence with I can't or a but, then it is not possible at this moment in time for myself and my team to work with you. And we want to help you. You're just not ready for us to help you. Think about that. We're not being mean. We don't want you to waste your time because you're not in the proper mindset to allow yourself to be helped. And again, it takes one to know one. And I've been there and was there for many years of my life. You need to begin to be more open. So again, we have an application for the process for that. In our CabralSupportGroup.com, our free support group space, if someone is only negative, meaning like, you're welcome to share your struggles with us, and we love that because we will help you with that. We honestly will. We want that. However, if every comment is negative, if everything you have to say is negative, and you're bringing the group down, you have to go. It's not because we don't love you. We do, but you have to go. You could come back once you're willing to play nice with others. Once you're willing to share your struggles, but show that there's hope, that you're leaving the door open. Yes, you're struggling. We all struggle. I've been there. That's why we created this group. Struggle. Yes, we will help you, but be positive along the way. And I know that's difficult, but it's all of our jobs. It's what we need to do. We want to create a new identity. We want to have a happier life. We need to allow for positivity to enter into that life. Other things I do is this. I have to make sure that I plan my meals. I'm someone that wants to live a healthier life, but I know because of all the genetic predispositions, because of all my past health issues, that I want to stay on the right track. I want to eat well 9 out of 10 times. That means I plan my breakfast. Simple. I do the same thing every morning. I share that with you that all the time. I do pretty much the same thing for lunches. I shop at the same places. I typically go to a place like Whole Foods or any place where I can get some cooked vegetables or whatever it might be, a decent protein, just some clean food. That's it. Really simple, okay? Oftentimes I don't have a mid-afternoon snack, but if I do, it's going to be a vegetable-based juice. It's going to be another smoothie, something healthy along those lines. And then I have dinner, and my family, we cook healthy dinners. And then I do a cheat meal. I do a cheat meal once a week or twice a week. That's it. Keep it simple because I want to stay on the right track. So the food to me is not helping me with anything except creating the identity and life of someone who has lots of energy, who's healthy, and that feels great in both mind and body. The food allows me to do that, and I need to do it. The other thing I do is even for a cheat meal, very, very rarely will I ever have dairy. Almost never. And that's why. It's because dairy is my kryptonite. It doesn't create any issues, no digestive issues, but the next day or two, if I have dairy, creates mucus, creates inflammation, creates swelling. It is not good for my body. So I just say no to dairy. That's the bottom line. Do I like dairy? Absolutely. Who doesn't like dairy? Most people like ice cream. Most people like those types of things like cheesecake and desserts. I just won't do dairy. Very, very rarely. And the reason is I just have an enormous predisposition to mucus buildup. I've had my adenoids removed, nasal membranes scraped and stripped. I've had my tonsils removed. A lot of issues surrounding mucus buildup in my body. And I just have to stay away from that. Bottom line, just keep myself away from those things. These are things that I do. Again, one more thing. I don't want to go to bed by 10 p.m. every night. I would love to stay up late. I like staying up late. I enjoy it. I want to spend more time just kind of relaxing and chatting with my wife and just all of those things. But I need to get to bed by 10 p.m. And the reason is I need to wake up before 6 p.m. And the reason I have to do that is because I'm more productive that way. And I have some me time. I've talked about this again on many Motivation and Mindset Mondays. If I don't get my me time in the morning and I spend the rest of the day serving others, which is what I love to do, but I don't get any of my me time, then I'm not the happy, healthy person that I want to be. So because I need that time in the morning, I have to go to bed earlier. So remember, what I'm doing right now is I'm structuring a life that's allowing me to create an identity of someone that's healthy in both mind and body and happy in both mind and body. And that's what I want for myself because I don't want the alternative. I don't want to feel sick. I don't want to feel run down. I know what that's like. I know what it's like to be inflamed. I know what it's like to be in pain. I don't want that. So what I'm doing is structuring a life which is allowing me the freedom to live the life that I want, to have the career that I want, all of those things, to work with great people. That's the whole point. So what I want to share with you right now is I want you to think about all the things that you don't want only so that you can start to understand what it is that you truly do want. And you don't want a million things. Most people don't want a million things in life. They want about a half a dozen things. That's it. They want health for their body. They want maybe a little extra time to exercise. They want maybe just a little free time away from the kids, just a little private time. They want a dinner out with their spouse. They can get a deeper relationship once a week. It's just these small things that we want in life that we need that would make us truly happy. And the reason I can't always give you those specifically, and the reason is that they're all unique to us, right? We're all humans, but what we want is just slightly different. Like some people just want a little quiet time at night to read. Like that would make them truly happy. Or they want a little time to paint, a little time to, to quilt, a little time to be able to practice their music or sing or whatever it is. Like that's great. Why can't you get that for your life? You certainly can. You certainly can, without a doubt. So what I want you to do is this. I want you to start to take the actions, do the work that's going to then allow you to lead the life that you want. And by leading the life that you want, by performing those actions is how you create your identity. Meaning that if you want your identity as to be someone that's a goal achiever or someone that's healthy and happy or someone that's not overweight or any of those things, well, then you need to take the actions such as the daily exercise, right? Or at least 4 times a week, that you need to plan out your meals, that you need to get to bed a little bit earlier, that you need to stop hanging around with the people who only go out to drink on Fridays, Saturdays, Sundays, right? That you need to take a little time away so that you can achieve that. You need to take those actions so that you get to live the life that you want. And that's not selfish. I tell you, it is not selfish. I keep quoting the Jim Rohn quote, but it's so important. You take care of you for me, and I'll take care of me for you. Meaning that everyone has to stop worrying about everyone else and take care of themselves. If we all did that, wow, the world would be such a greater place. And then those people like you and I would be so much stronger in ourselves than we would then be able to pick up those people who aren't as strong. We'd be able to pay it forward and really help out those people. That's what it's all about. You do that, your happiness is going to go tenfold because now you're able to share with people that you found to work for you. I'll tell you right now, that will bring you more happiness in your life, more purpose, more passion than almost anything else. And I'm only discovering that now over the past 3, 4, 5 years is really living my purpose and understanding that the more I give, the more I serve, the happier I am. It's just this strange thing in life that, wow, if I can just keep working, I'm increasing my happiness factor. Not for monetary reasons, not for any of those things, but I'm understanding this small effect, just this small effect that I may be able to have with a few people. And then those people are feeling better. And then everything in their life gets better. And that includes relationships. So everybody's happier. So if I can tell you this, that you will be happier in life with your new identity if you're able to take control of a few of those daily actions that you perform in life. Because it's those daily actions like waking up a little bit earlier, to have a little bit of you time, whether it's to exercise, to read, to meditate, to just get everything ready for the day, to just be more at peace. Get to work a half hour earlier while it's quiet. Any of those things, right? Any of those things are fine. Have a good breakfast. Plan out where your lunch is going to be or bring your lunch. That's why a little extra time in the morning or at night will allow you to make that lunch for the day, all right? Or take a walk during lunch or go to the gym during lunch, all right? When you come home from work, switch that mindset, okay? Switch the mindset that you're going to, no matter what someone comes at you with terms of negativity or stress, that you're going to greet that with not negativity, but with a neutral-based response. Just saying that, I'm sorry to hear that. Can I do anything for you? And they will be taken aback. Like, who is this person saying this to me? At first, it'll be strange to them, but then they're not going to come at you in the same way because you're not going to come back to them with that angry-based response. You're going to understand that they're in pain. That's why they're coming in with you in that type of response. And you're going to do your best to help them. Are you going to be perfect? No, of course not. None of us are. None of us are. We always have our own bad days as well. But hopefully in the future, that when you're having a bad day, that other person will pick you up. And that you, 9 out of 10 times, will be able to help them as well. I'm telling you right now, this creates a cycle of happiness. It's a cycle of happiness. It's understanding that one action leads to another. That next action leads to another productive, happy action, and so on and so forth. They build upon each other. They start small, but they do get larger. They do get larger. And then on top of that, you build up this reciprocity with other people, with your work, with your team, with your spouse, with your family, all those people, so that when you need a little bit, they'll give you that. They will, because you've done so much for other people. And I'll tell you right now, we can't control a lot of times the actions of others and a lot of things that happen in life. But what we can control are a lot of the things in our daily routine. That's what we have. That is our life. And if we start to control those things, I'm telling you right now, you will start to create a new identity. Because your identity is simply made up of the actions that you take each day. You want to lose the weight? Well, what are your actions doing? Are your actions those of someone who's trying to lose weight or keep the weight off? Okay? If you're sick right now, are the actions the foods you eat, the nutritional supplements you take, the sleep, the rest, the detoxification, are they the actions of someone who's truly going to get well? Ask yourself that. I'm not looking to be mean here. I'm not looking to come down on you. Not at all. We all have to do a little bit of self-assessment, become self-aware. Because once you become more self-aware, once you start to take those actions, you create the new identity. And along the path of taking those actions, you're figuring out exactly the life that you want. And just keep in mind that the life that you want today may change a year from now. And that's a good thing. That shows growth. That shows maturity. And I'll tell you this, is that the life that I want today is very different than I wanted 5 years ago. I'm in a different place. But what I wanted 5 years ago doesn't make that bad. It just means that what I had to do 5 years ago led me to the path I am today. It's one step in front of the other. That's really what it is. If you do that, you're going to create more health, more happiness, and that's going to shine around you. It really is. You're going to bring everyone up. I really do believe that. So hopefully this show brought out a little bit in you. All I want you to do is think about this. Over this next week, as we're preparing for 2018, what is it that you want less of in your life? Write it down. Put a column on the left. Just take a piece of paper, split it in half. On that left-hand side, what do you want less of in your life, right? What is it, right? Just write all of those things down. And then on the right-hand side, what do you want more of? And I'll tell you, when you start to look from the left column to the right column, you'll see that less of this will automatically equal more of the column on the right. If you then start to rearrange that daily schedule, those small actions of avoiding the negative and moving more towards the positive, you're going to be on the path to creating that new identity and the life that you've always wanted. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in to another Mindset and Motivation Monday. I am wishing you the absolute best end to 2017 and the best start to 2018. I'm telling you right now, we are going to have the best 2018. I'm going to help support you in any way that I can. But remember, it is up to you. This is your life. You're the one who's going to take control. You're going to have your best year yet.
Before you go, I wanted to share a personal story with you. The real reason I began to get well finally is because I figured out what was wrong with me. And that might seem pretty obvious, but I went from doctor to doctor for over 2 years before discovering at-home functional medicine lab testing. These are the labs that enabled me to finally figure out what was wrong with my hormones, blood sugar, electrolytes, and gut health. And once I knew what was wrong, I could then follow a proven plan in order to rebalance my body from the inside out. This is why I believe so strongly in functional medicine lab testing and why I've made it my mission to share these labs with the world. Now at equa.life, you can order an at-home lab test or lab bundle for you and your family and be able to complete it within the week. Plus, the EquaLife difference is that you're not left to try to read and figure out these labs on your own. We explain what your lab numbers mean, what they mean in the much bigger picture, and then how to go about rebalancing your body in order to heal. To see our full selection of lab tests or to set up a free lab selection call to find out what labs may be best for you, simply head on over to equa.life/labs. And do remember, we ship these all over the world. To find out more and to set up your free lab selection call, simply head on over to equa.life/labs. That's EQUI.LIFE/labs.